I was home. And the first question that they asked me is that, do you have a guy or a man in the house that I can explain to, like, things to? And I was like, I am the man of the house. Like, explain these things to me. I am capable of understanding how the AC works.
In this series, various groups of Europeans discuss current pressing topics and the situation in their countries. This is European Perspective. Today's episode, Women of Europe.
In my country, I feel safe to walk alone at night.
I do feel safe to walk alone at night, and I do that very often. And I think I've never had a feeling that something bad will happen to me, even though I live in a very big city. But though Poland is considered to be one of the safest countries. Hi, I'm Lila, and I'm from Poland. What I like about my country is, I don't know, the landscape is really nice. But what I don't like is maybe sometimes the way people behave and are really close-minded in a way.
In Italy, it's like I feel safe, but everyone thinks that I'm crazy because like women being raped is not that rare. So everyone wants to escort me even at 10 in the evening, etc. And all my friends just walk me home because they are scared. But I still feel safe because, I didn't have an encounter there. But everyone tells me that I shouldn't feel safe and I should be like more careful. So, hi, I'm Teresa and I'm from Italy. I like Italian food, and I don't like the laziness of Italians because they can be really, really lazy. So that's it.
I think it depends because I also know my city very well. So, but I would say that for someone who comes to Bratislava for a first time, it is a safe city. Like overall, like the nightlife is can be quite crazy, but it's a safe city. I think it also depends quite on the areas where you spend your time. But for me, it really depends like also on the kind of night that I'm having or the time that I'm going home, I would say. Hi, my name is Victoria or Vicky, and I'm from Slovakia, and I'm actually very similar to Lila because what I like about Slovakia is the landscape and all the nature that we have. But as close to Poland, what I really dislike is sometimes people can be really like arrogant and close-minded about some things.
I usually feel safe. It depends also in the area. Like someone said, I don't remember who, but it also depends on the area. And usually I feel safe. It's not that I feel safe or unsafe. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable rather than say unsafe because there's a lot of catcalling and so on, but nothing dangerous. And I was once a man came after me, but during the day, so doesn't even have to be at night. Hola, my name is Rebecca, and I'm from Spain. Sorry, I don't have a lot of voice today. And what I like about my country is probably the food. I don't know, it's the first thing that came to mind. And what I don't like, I mean, many things.
In my country, I feel like it's easy to balance career and motherhood.
So in Slovakia, the system is actually quite well. When you have a baby, you can get up to 3 years off, and a lot of the time the companies are required to keep your place so that when you come back, you have your place, which is a good thing that mothers have that safety net, kind of, that they're not on the street after 3 years of like that maternal holidays, or however you maternity leave. So, and I also, which I find quite really good, is that also fathers can go on this parental leave. It's quite a new thing actually, and they can, I'm not sure how much they can get off, maybe it's up to like 6 months or a year, that they can get off also of work to be at home with their wife and their baby.
It's the same in Czech Republic, because in Czech Republic we also get up to 3 years of parental leave, and mother and both father can leave. Ahoy, my name's Lenka. I'm from Czech Republic, and what I like about Czech Republic would be food.
In Italy, you have only 5 months of maternal leave, and you can use them or you can go during the 8th and 9th month, or you can work until you give birth and then you take the 5 months. So, but you come back to work after that.
Like, I was surprised at the two first examples, because in Spain it's similar to Italy. Like, you don't get more than 6 months, I think. I'm not sure.
Right after childbirth, mother's finance is provided by subsidies from the state. Also, kindergartens are free of charge in Finland. Both mothers and fathers can have parental leaves, and before it, there is maternity leave lasting over 100 days. Paternity leave lasts only 1 to 54 days. The parents themselves decide which of them will be on parental leave. After all, it's possible to stay on childcare until a child is 3 years old, and during that it's possible to receive home care support. I'm Carolina and I'm from Finland, but I'm in Prague right now for an exchange. What I like about my country is nature and language.
There's a lot of stigma around getting pregnant, or that the possibility of getting pregnant or having children or a family. Like, many sorry, the name doesn't come. Many companies don't hire you if and so in some interviews they can ask you if you're dating someone, or if you're married, if you're gonna have kids. Like, of course you don't have to answer, or you can lie at the interview, but it's like these tricky questions, so they can afterwards they can decide that they won't hire you, like, based on that answer. So I think it's quite difficult in Spain to combine motherhood with like professional career.
In my country, there's a lot being done to prevent sexual harassment and violence.
My point of view is that you can always do more to protect the victims of violence or rape. But in Czech Republic, I would say there is still a big stigma about the rape being the girl's fault. And still the legislation is not whole, because in Czech Republic, it's considered rape only if the victim is proven to be saying no. So it's only rape if the victim did not consent vocally. There are a lot of people working on that, and like a lot of people want to change that, but still it's something that needs to be changed.
The thing is that we've lately had a lot of protests the following past years. Probably you've all heard about it. And these ones were connected to mostly abortion. But as you can see, if therefore we can't even have abortion, then it's quite easy to see how does it look like with sexual harassment and stuff. And of course, it's going to the, I would say, young people and everything. We are thinking more liberate, and it's going to a better direction. But with the government we're having, it's never going to be good if it won't be a different one, because the thinking is very, very, very old. And also the saying that it could be a woman's fault, it's also still a thing, a very common one.
I think in Spain, in legal terms, I think they're going towards the right direction, like a good path, and many stuff. They're changing a lot of legislations and so on, and enduring some legislations, but still, like in all the cases, like there's a lot of stigma towards the women, and the victims are like, they're not believed, and all the time they're talking about the fake, how do you say the name, fake reports and so on.
Even though Finland seems to be a very safe and developed country, the domestic violence is unfortunately quite common. In 2020, there were almost 11,000 people in Finland who experienced domestic violence. So home is the most dangerous place, especially for women. I checked out that according to Finnish statistics, almost 80% of the victims of domestic violence were women. In my country, feminism is widely accepted and common.
I think in Spain it's pretty common, but it depends on the social circle. Like it depends on where you're, like the people I relate to. Yeah, it's common, and many people consider themselves feminists or similar, whatever. But in other types of social circles, it's very criticized. But I think it's like feminist circles or groups are actively fighting and so on. They're not hiding. They don't have to hide. It's not like there's like a real oppression against them.
This is, I think, something quite special to Czech population. A lot of Czech people, they just don't care at all about anything. So I would say that there are a lot of feminists as girls and a lot of boys or men, because feminism does not really affect them, or they think so, they don't care about it. So they don't have an opinion about it. They don't think it's something bad. They just literally don't care about it.
Italy is it's not a unified country really, because from north to south you have different lifestyles. So, and city and little town, it's different too. So it depends where you are. But they are feminists. They try to tell what they want and to gain what they ask. And so yeah, it's common, but it depends again where you are.
In general, I think feminism now in Poland has become way much more popular because of the protests that we've had for several years. And now they created a lot of Instagram accounts, and there are a lot of people actually talking about this stuff. Well, abortion is like mainly one of them because we don't get to have it here. And also, if you need like the pill day after, you also need a prescription. So you need to call a gynecologist in order to actually get this pill. Anyways, I think because of all these things that happen, which of course suck, in general, it made feminism way much popular in Poland than it was, which is good. But what can I say from the guy's perspective? As I've heard, some of them consider women being feminists as a little bit crazy ones.
For Slovakia, I think it really depends on the area, because I know that there's still areas of Slovakia where people live this traditional old school where the man is the head of the family, he's bringing in the money, and the woman is just in the kitchen and taking care of the kids. And then you have this big shift, which is the capital, which is Bratislava, where there have been multiple protests exactly because every once in a while the topic of abortion comes up and the outcome is not really what we hope for. So these are the moments where especially the feminists and the people who believe in the freedom of women, they come in the streets and they, we do what we do. And I think there is a big shift between like the rural and the urban side of Slovakia.
In my country, there's a significant amount of women in leadership and politics.
Our prime minister is a woman, so it tells everything. So you can achieve high jobs. I don't know how to define it. And there are other women in politics. They are quite known. So I think that in politics, it's not a department where you won't find them, or it's rare.
in politics, we don't have many women, like so little, honestly. My friend, she's actually a politician in a smaller city that's in my region. And basically, when she goes to the meetings, she's the only woman. And she's also like around my age, so 25-ish. And then there are like 50 men sitting at the table, so she always feels so weird, and she feels a little bit like she's not in the right place because all these men in the suits, and then there is she, a tiny woman, but she likes to share her opinion and tries to make actually nice changes considered with animals and nature and so on, which is good that there is a possibility like that. But I still feel that the political area in Poland is very much concerned about men. Even though, of course, there are some women, and even one wanted to be a president once, and you know why they voted for her. Of course, she didn't win because she was from a shitty party, but she got some votes, and the people who voted for her said that they voted because she was very pretty. So that's the reason. And in terms of companies, personally, where I work, the boss is a woman, and my boss, which is under her, is a woman herself. So in terms of companies, I think it's quite equal. Of course, there are always more men, but I think it's in this way it's going to the great direction, not political, though, not at all.
If I may continue, so for Slovakia, it's very similar because our president is a woman, which is the head of state, and we are very proud of her, actually. And when it comes to leadership position, I can say from my personal experience, I have worked in 3 companies. In one of them, almost every head of department or like head of a team was a woman, because the owner and like the woman who created this company was a woman. I don't think it was because of that, but I think that you can find them. It's just that people that, you know, sometimes you have to like look at like who's competent enough to do the job, and if it's a woman, then great. And I have worked under like I said, I've worked in 3 companies, and in all 3 of them, I was like led by a team of women. But when you look at the higher higher places, usually there were men.
Politics, I think there are more and more women taking also like main roles. But yeah, so many of these women are belong to right-wing parties, which maybe I don't feel that I don't know how to say that in English, but you know, so related to them, or so I don't mind that they are women or not, because they're still right wing, and what they defend is not what it's not what I defend.
You might have heard about our Prime Minister, Sanna Marin, because as a young woman, she's only 37 years old. She's been a pioneer. Sanna Marin was nominated as the 2nd woman Prime Minister in Finland in 2019, just before the Corona pandemic started. Since then, the Finnish government has consisted only of women from different parties. People have criticized them a lot, but I think that most of Finns have supported them. People have also criticized our prime minister about everything: how she dresses up, acts, does during her free time, etc. There has been many media sensations about Sanna Marin. In my country, I don't encounter sexism often.
So I think in Slovakia, as I mentioned, we are still quite an old-fashioned country. I mean, it's moving forward, which is great. However, there's still a lot of stigma against that. Women should just be at home in the kitchen with the kids, etc., etc., and not just catcalling and like whistles from cars. But I was doing some home improvements, and I had, you know, like an electrician or something, or like the guys who installed the AC, and I was home. And the first question that they asked me is that, do you have a guy or a man in the house that I can explain to, like, things to? And I was like, I am the man of the house. Like, explain these things to me. I am capable of understanding how the AC works. And so, but this is also like those people that you encounter this is like I've encountered so much of these like, oh yeah, but you're just a woman, you cannot understand how, like, I don't know, whatever around the house works. And this is like for Slovakia, like especially for me, apart from all the catcalling that I think everybody experiences, not just in the night but during the day, and those things that unfortunately happen on a daily basis.
What really fascinates me are the boys of my generation or younger, because I don't know where they took it, but they think that they are cool and sexy if they act like an old patriarch, like you're a woman, grab me the beer, or you cannot dress this way. I don't want you talking to him. And they think that they are cool, that they like are strong, and they don't understand that actually they're pathetic. So maybe that's why I cannot find a boy in Italy, but like they are, I hate them. And yeah, so, and I think that they will grow up and understand that that's not how the world works, or it shouldn't. But sometimes I'm really scared that they really think it and that it's not only an act.
Especially when I'm parking and I'm usually going in reverse, and there's a guy, he will just stand there and look at me if I can actually like park my car correctly in the space, like I'm some kind of idiot who, like, I'm just some kind of blonde girl who cannot drive. So for me, it's like I'm laughing at these things because I know how to park a car. So and then like these looks, they are like, oh my god, she parked that car, like, okay, I'm not here.
Most of the people, they don't care about these things, so they don't know about it. But when they do, they like actually behave the right way, or they like understand it. So I think the most important thing here is education.
I tried to tell them, and the answer was relax, woman. So um, I would really love education to work, but sometimes, yeah, sometimes you just need to relax, apparently.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much. These are all my questions. If you want to add something, I don't know, to anything about the how you feel as a woman in your country, do it now or be silent forever.